My name is Kawiye Jumale. I currently live in Buffalo, New York. I am the head president of the Somali Bantu organization here in Buffalo, New York. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. I've been in Buffalo the last 17 years of my life, but I am from Kenya.
Has this crisis made you more vulnerable?
It most definitely made me more vulnerable because I had lost a loved one that I had never imagined would leave, and the way this all happened so fast, and I didn't know how to deal with my emotions, and it's been tough. It's been tough, and the fact that we didn't see it coming, and not only that, it started piling up to more losses, more families losing loved ones, and then children dying from this crisis. So it definitely made me more vulnerable, and also made me want to reach out more to the community, because I can't just stay around or stick around and feeling miserable.
So how are people working together and supporting one another right now?
For me, I live with my folks are in their late 50s, and they don't speak English. Obviously, they don't speak English, so it's kind of difficult, hey, once you go out there, you gotta be careful. So for me, I just had that panic attack. And then I was very grateful when I heard that, you know what, you can actually go to this certain location and get food for your family. I know one time my supervisor reached out to me and he told me, Kawiye, you can do this and go to this certain place, or just try to reach out to people and talk to people, and they'll tell you things. So that neighborly type of help also, one time I brought this whole bag of food to my next door neighbor. If we didn't need it, then obviously they may need it. And I remember this one time I needed something to wash the dishes with, and I did have no idea how I'm gonna wash the dishes without the dish soap. So I went to my next door neighbor, and and they just let me have it. So traveling wise, it's limited. Everything is so limited. So I feel like the people are there for each other.
But nice to hear that people are finally coming together and working together. Since there's a lot going on right now with COVID, but also with Black Lives Matter. What was your first experience with racism?
So I had came into this country around July of 2004. I didn't know anything about racism. I just knew that I was just brought into this country, and they just gave me this ideology that basically everything's gonna be great, and it's the American dream. But then somewhere along the line, I'm hearing people calling me African Buddhist structure, and people pulling off my scarf, and and then that fear just got to me, it's a battle out here that I have to fight. A battle I have to fight to get friends. A battle I have to fight to be heard. A battle I have to fight to get a job. If I remember correctly, around 5th grade, I could say, that's where I started to notice the difference. That hey, I am here, a refugee, a Bantu woman, but I'm not like them, and they're not gonna accept me for who I am or the way I am. It's like I have to try to fit in, but I don't want to do that. But then at that time, I didn't know any better. I would go to school sometimes wearing clothes that I'm not supposed to, and then when I come home, I would change. And then around for example, they prefer us to dress like this in our culture, but at that time, I was wearing pants, or I would wear pants, just something to have that experience. What is why do I have to be discriminated against, or these hurtful words that they shouldn't be talking that way to me or towards anyone else. But I would say 5th grade was when all of this started, and then around high school, late to middle high school, I started covering up. I started wearing my niqab. The niqab is the one that basically just shows a woman's eyes and not the face. The hijab is the covering that covers only this part of the face, and the niqab covers the face, but the eyes are exposed. So I started wearing that because I felt that I was going through a phase in my life, and I remember one day I was praying so hard, God, just please take this pain away. And out of nowhere, one day I just decided, I want to change my life. and I started covering up basically. But with that also came consequences where I felt like I was living a double life, this cultural imprisonment sort of thing, and then trying to fit into this, American ideology. So when I did started taking that niqab very, very seriously throughout my high school years up to college, I was walking home one day from high school to my house, which is not so far away from each other, and somebody threw something at me outside of their car window, and that was it. I was scared for my life. Somebody literally, I'm so happy that they missed, but every time I think about it, it still gives me chills. But since that day on, it bugs my mind every time I think about it. And then at some point, I stopped wearing the niqab. It's a lot of complications that came with it. Not just that experience that made me want to take it off, but so many other different experiences that I've been through from the point that I started wearing the niqab to the point where now I'm like on and off. So
I'm really sorry you had to go through that. That's honestly really difficult to hear. And Buffalo is a city of good neighbors, so I'd like to think that we could act a little bit better towards people who are coming into the community. But the sad reality is this kind of stuff happens all the time, and I apologize that you had to go through that. I take that on a little bit personally. I'm so sorry.
But you know what? That didn't stop me though at the same time, because I love wearing the niqab. The niqab is like a spiritual journey for me. Even though I'm on and off, it's like a spiritual journey for me, because a lot of the times that's where I'm seeing my light at the end of the tunnel, and that's why now it's like I'm slowly trying to get back into it, because that was really my shield. A lot of people when they see a Muslim woman wearing the niqab, they immediately think that she's either oppressed, being forced to do it, or some other reason that is not correct.
Mm-hmm.
But really, when you really talk to a Muslim woman and hear the story behind why are you doing this, they have their own reasons. Everybody have their own reasons.